hobbling from the finish line in my blood-soaked socks, absolutely exhausted and feeling like all my toenails were going to fall off. I didn't feel as accomplished as I thought I would, having just run a 26-mile marathon. I would train for months and almost killing myself trying to get to the finish line. And for what? 7 blisters, agonizing cramp, debilitating exhaustion, and 176 pounds for charity. 176. It wasn't like my friends and family weren't generous. It was more that the more people I asked to sponsor me, the more uncomfortable I became about answering the question of what charity I was running for. I guess if I was raising money for breast cancer research, it would go without saying. But for some reason, people wanted to know why I was running for suicide prevention charity. Some with genuine concern asked me if I was okay. Others asked if I would ever been affected by suicide. Someone asking very innocently, others asking with a clear agenda to glean a bit of gossip. Someone actually asked me straight up if I would know anyone who would kill themselves. I appreciated the concern and whatnot, but not the morbid curiosity. You have got to have a reason to raise money for a cause, though, I guess. I have wanted to run the London Marathon for as long as I can remember. I always used to watch it on TV as a kid with my parents, and it just looked like the greatest fun. All those folks in fancy dress, the solidarity, the fundraising, and it always seemed like amazing accomplishment for normal folks to cross the finish line. Monday to Friday, they would work in a bank. But this particular weekend, they were running 26 miles with best of them, albeit at a much lower pace, of course. I got over the idea of running in fancy dress pretty quickly after I attempted a 5 kilometers in an inflatable T-Rex costume. I almost suffocated and ditched the bloody thing halfway through. It was only once I would actually sign up for the marathon that I decided I should probably try and raise some money too, because that is what you do, right? I always felt bad about what happened to this girl at my school. I can't remember her name, but I do remember her face. I always felt like maybe I should have reached out to her or said something maybe, or at the very least, not being one of those dickheads who laughed along when everyone was taking the piss out of her. I never said anything to her at all, good or bad, but the times I just laughed along when she was being torn to shreds, that haunts me. I have this image of her ingrained in my mind. Adrian or Aiden, I can't remember his name either. He was ripping on her in class and we were all laughing. It wasn't really bad stuff, but it was relentless. I have been told I have a rather loud, sometimes obnoxious laugh, so people tend to focus on me in particular when a group of people are laughing. And I remember her turning to look at me. She wasn't upset. She just had this look of, why are you laughing at me? What have I ever done to you? I don't know if that is what she was thinking, or even if that was actually the expression on her face, or just how I remembered it. But as silly as it sounds, that look continues to eat away at me even 10, 15 years on. She killed herself a few days later. I didn't do anything to intervene then. I just laughed along, so I figured maybe I could do something now. It was as good reason to raise money for a charity as any, but when it came down to it, I just wasn't prepared to have those conversations with my mates and colleagues, and definitely not with my family. So I wound up raising £176 from 5 people. When the race started, it was great. There was this real buzz. It was everything I wanted it to be, and the first couple of miles were plain sailing. But by the time I hit the last 5 miles, I honestly thought I was going to die. It was that look on that girl's face ingrained in my mind that pushed me to the finish line. But after months of training, damn near killing myself on the day, what is £176 even going to do? Will it be enough to save anyone else? I know it's better than nothing, but I also know I could have raised much more if I asked more people. And so, once again, I feel like I let that girl down and anyone like her.